Whoa, okay. Let's climb up here for a little get ready with me. I'm drinking some tea. Boy, if you saw the title, we've got some things to talk about. It has been a while and my life has changed so much since the last time that we talked. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. We have got some catching up to do. I did just get a tea because I've had sort of a cold just this last few days, but I have so many things that I need to go over. We bought a home. We have a house, an actual house, and I am now pregnant. So this video is going to be kind of short, but I do want to just share with you the news, and then in my next video, I will sit down with Henry and we can go over all of the details. And I also have a lot of errands to run today, so I will save you by not making you come with me for those, but I am going to do my makeup and get ready. Not that I need to, but I just thought it'd be better to have something to do while I am talking to you. So I'm gonna do my makeup, and yeah, I'm gonna share with you all of the things that have happened in my life in literally the last few months. We basically got married, bought a house, and got pregnant kind of accidentally in like 30 to 40 days. I knew after the wedding that we were gonna start house hunting. We have wanted to have a house for like part-time use for a while. I have been craving an office in particular, and like even just a bath or a couch, like basic things, just to come home to. Like even if we were gonna still travel in the vans, which we still intend on doing, like we really want the house to be part-time and then to live in the vans part-time. But I just want something like somewhere to send packages, somewhere, I mean, you guys understand, it's a home base. And so I've been craving that for a little while, and it just happened that like on our second or third time ever looking at houses, we found like my dream house. Like it's also Henry's. Henry's was more, his dream was more location based. So we are in his like dream location. And then, oh my God, a rabbit. Also, is my foundation even close to the color of my skin? No. Okay, we're coming out of winter, and I'm one of those people, I don't wear makeup enough that I like go out and just buy different shades for the different seasons. So I wear the same shade year round, and I'm only this color about half of the year. So this is what we're working with today, and I do not care. I also know I'm not like a makeup girly. I think that we all know this. So there's really no reason to tell me how wrong I am doing everything. But back to the story. We get married, we find the house of my dreams in Henry's dream location, and Henry was like, we should just at least put in an offer. So we did, and we also didn't know if the sellers of this house were like an investor just looking for the highest number or what. We got really lucky that we actually were not the highest offer, but because it was a young couple who have a couple of very small children, like they had like a soft spot for us. And so we ended up getting our offer accepted a few days later. So in that time, I think it took us maybe a week from seeing the house to having the offer accepted. During that week, we found out that I was pregnant. And I still, even just saying that right now, feels absolutely crazy. Interrupting myself briefly from the future. If it sounds ever so slightly different, it is because I have the air conditioning on now, so you might notice a slight change. But I want to thank today's sponsor, Surfshark, which is a VPN. Now, if you're like me and you watch a ton of YouTube, you've probably heard of a few different VPN services at this point, and I have cruised them all. Surfshark is the best one for many different reasons. First, I used to have a different VPN service actually, and I could only have it on 2 devices. So I had it on my laptop and my iPad, which could both be protected, but not on my cell phone, which was frustrating. So then I heard a different YouTuber actually talking about Surfshark and the fact that it has unlimited devices, which is just so convenient. So no matter iPads, laptops, phones, whatever you can have Surfshark on any device that you own. They also offer something called Surfshark Alert, which will give you instant data leak notifications for enhanced security. That's another thing I really appreciate, because I feel like data leaks are happening more and more often. A couple of the major bonuses that I have noticed with having Surfshark. The first one being the online streaming service, right? So Netflix and the different streaming services often only offer each country a certain amount of shows or movies, and your favorites may not be like accessible from your country. But with the VPN, you can turn on Mexico, for example, has The Office, so I can change my Netflix to Mexico and watch The Office. That's just one example. And then something I've never actually heard someone else talk about when it comes to a VPN is that when I'm traveling to Mexico to do animal rescue, or like last year I was in Costa Rica doing group trips, I would notice a performance difference when I was posting content like on Instagram or anything, because I don't think it was being served to like my typical audience. And so I would notice a big performance difference, and so I would then turn my VPN on for the United States and it would kind of go back to normal. That's just something I've never heard someone talk about. If you are a creator or if you like sharing things online, that's just something to consider as well. And Surfshark actually gave me a code, DOTR. I will put it on the screen right here. The link will be down in the description box as well, and that will give you 3 extra free months. So you can try it. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. If for any reason you are not enjoying Surfshark, I feel confidently that you will. But I just want to say thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Essentially, I got my IUD out like a week after I got married. Henry knew I was going to be doing this, of course. How I had read everywhere, and I know doctors say you can get pregnant like immediately after you get the IUD out. But I had read a ton of different like forums and actual people experiences that had said they did not get pregnant from anywhere between 6 and 18 months after they got the IUD out. So I knew that within a year of getting married, we would want to start trying. And so I just thought, let me get this out and I will start to track my cycle, and then we'll kind of go from there. And then that, like, when we want to start really, really trying, I'll be prepared to do so. And like my body will have regulated from being on hormonal birth control for like 12 years. I'd been on different kinds of hormonal birth control since I was a very young teenager. And so I got the IUD out, and before, I couldn't even start to track my cycle until you like get your period. I couldn't track my cycle until that happened. And I never got one. I never got mine. I was pregnant before I ever got a period. So I couldn't even really start tracking my cycle efficiently. I could to some degree based off of my temperature and all of these different things that I won't go into, but I couldn't like really accurately track my cycle because I got pregnant before I could even do that. However, Henry and I were emotionally ready, financially ready. We felt fine. And so I found out I was pregnant, and it was like the next day that the offer was accepted on the house. So it just, everything happened very, very quickly. And I know that that kind of concerns some people that I've talked to, at least. They're like, wow, you guys only online. Like, I think our family and friends are entirely behind us, and they knew that that's what it is really what we wanted. It just happened slightly faster than we would have done it in an ideal situation. But people online have been like concerned that we did things way too quickly. However, Henry and I just don't feel that way. Like, we feel like this was meant to happen, that everything happens for a reason, and we knew by doing what we were doing that this could, like, this is the result, you know? Like, we knew that, and we were okay with that before it happened. Everyone's main question is, are you still going to travel? Are you still going to be in the vans? That's not really what this video is going to be about. I'll talk more about that with Henry. But the short answer is yes. We're definitely still going to travel. We'll definitely still be in the vans. I think we'll take some time off of being in the vans when I'm like much farther along in my pregnancy. And then once the baby's born. However, you know, once we can travel with the baby, we plan on doing that at least like just part-time, of course. But as of right now, nothing's really going to be changing. We're going to be part-time in this house as our home base. We've still been in the vans since moving into the house a bunch, and we don't really, I mean, we're probably going to travel this entire summer. So I just want to address that because I know that's going to be most people's questions. Like, a lot of people just want to know that we're still going to be in the vans, and that's definitely still happening. But for the people who are curious just what my experience has been like thus far, I want to share more about that. When I found out that I was pregnant, first of all, I was in a Planet Fitness. Yeah, because we were still in the vans, obviously. So we were still in the vans, and we went into the Planet Fitness to shower. And I go in, I shower, and at this point I was just starting the tracking my cycle phase. And so I had these ovulation tests, Natural Cycles. The app would tell me when I needed to take an ovulation test. So after I shower, I go into the restroom area and I take this little ovulation. I had purchased a like Frida fertility ovulation kit. And so it comes with all these ovulation tests and then also 2 pregnancy tests. And for like silly, stupid reasons, I took the first pregnancy test that it came with like the day after I got my IUD out. I knew I wasn't pregnant, I just did that. So I have in this kit in Planet Fitness dozens of ovulation tests and 1 pregnancy test. And so it's been a few weeks since I got the IUD out or whatever. So I think it had been 5 weeks. And I basically pee on this ovulation test and put it to the side. And as I'm waiting for that, in the little baggie that I had my kit in, I saw the pregnancy test. And people keep saying, you must have known, like I had no intuition. Nothing told me that I was pregnant. I was baffled when it came back positive. Okay, there was no part of me that thought I was pregnant. I just saw it. And I thought to myself, genuinely, my only thought was, if I take that pregnancy test, then I'll have to go buy more. And like, I don't know, fun. It's so stupid. I don't know. Like, that was just my thought. So I was like, I'm just going to take it. And I'm not pregnant, so who cares? So I take the pregnancy test and I set it to the side next to the ovulation test. I finish up, and before I could even stand up, the ovulation test was still thinking. The pregnancy test could not have shown these 2 lines any faster. Like, could not have come up faster. So my eyes just got so wide. I called my best friend, which is funny, I know. I probably should have called Henry first, but I also didn't want to tell him over the phone, but I needed to tell someone in that moment. So I called my best friend. She has a baby, and she, of course, was like, you're pregnant, dude, you're so pregnant. And it was just like a funny moment to share with her. And then I go running out to my van from the Planet Fitness. Henry was not even there, thankfully. He was like doing something else in the same town. And so I go running out to my van, and I remembered that I had pregnancy tests from, I don't even know when. I don't know why I had these, but they were like the really like the little tiny strips, like almost like the dollar store kind. And I don't even remember from when I had them or something. I was like, maybe I still have those. They're somewhere tucked in the back of my van for some reason. And so I found like 2 or 3 or something of those strips. And I know someone is just somewhere right now cringing at how I, how I apply makeup. And so I took all of those. I took all 3. And every single one of them comes back positive. So at this point, I'm like, you're definitely pregnant, which is wild. So at this point, I'm thinking, I have to tell Henry. How do I tell him? I started getting so nervous to tell him. Henry and I also had like a date night planned about once a month or so. We would go on these dates. We still do. And we go to like a nice restaurant, something fancy-ish. And we sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, have dinner, and just have like a date night. So that night we were supposed to do that. And I knew usually on these date nights, pre-pregnancy, I would like definitely have a few glasses of wine. Like I'm talking 3 to 4 glasses of wine for sure. We would park for the night somewhere and either walk or Uber to the restaurant so that we could like safely get back and everything. And so I was like, how am I supposed to, I'd have to tell him before dinner, or like what am I going to do? But I couldn't tell him before dinner. I was so nervous. And so we go to dinner, and I'm like a red wine drinker through and through. And I just could not tell him. I thought, should I tell him in the restaurant? Like, that might be cute. And then I was like, no, we're both just like more private when it comes to that type of thing. Like, I should let him handle his emotions on his own, not in public. At the very beginning of the dinner, I go up. he's like not paying attention. He was doing something and I just walked up to the host. I think I acted like I was going to the bathroom, and I go up to the host and I said, I'm pregnant. I just found out. My husband has no idea, and I'm about to order some margaritas. Please make sure they are mocktails. And she like, we're pretty close to where the host was, and she goes, and I was like, I know. I just need you. She was young and like very sweet. And I was like, I know, I need you not to say anything, but I'm gonna walk back to my seat, and like everything I drink tonight cannot have alcohol. She's like, okay. So I go back, sit next to Henry, and he goes, I sat down, he goes, did you just tell that host that it was your birthday? I was like, that is honestly something I would literally never do. I do not have the balls for that. And so I was like, no. And I don't remember what I lied about, but so I'm like pounding fake margaritas. He's drinking old fashions and he's like starting to get tipsy, and I'm just like drinking lime juice essentially. And so at the end of the evening, we go back to the vans and he's like, do you want to get a nightcap? And I was like, I cannot tell another host. Like, I cannot navigate my way through another restaurant faking drinking alcohol. Like, I just cannot do this. So I was like, let's go back to the vans, and then if we still want to get a nightcap, we can do that. So that's what we did. We go back to the vans. We have this foster dog named Jessie, and she has been obsessed with me since the moment that we got her. And we had gotten her a week or two before this. And I mean, obsessed is an understatement. Like, if I move, she moves with me. Like, she just is always right there. And so the only thing that came to mind, everyone wants to see this video of me telling Henry that I'm pregnant. And it is the least cute, most awkward video I've ever recorded in my life. Because in my head, I'm like, if I set up the camera to film both of us, he's gonna know something is wrong. Like, there was no chance he thought I was pregnant, but I just kept telling myself, he's gonna know. He's gonna know. If I set the camera up, he's gonna know. I felt like when I ordered the mocktails, I was like, he's gonna know. And so I was like, do something with Jessie, like Foster, and I'm like recording him, so the video's only of him. And I said, it is so awkward because I'm just so nervous and whatever. And so I point the video at him and I say, you know how we were just talking about how Jessie's like obsessed with me, or she really like prefers me. I said that, and then he was like, yeah. And I go, do you think it's because she knows? And I like stop after it, and I'm like, that I don't know if I said I'm pregnant or I'm with child. And he's like, what? And I go, I'm currently with child. Not with child. I think that is like literally what I said. Why did I say that? I have no idea. And he's like, what? Wait, what? And I'm showing him pregnancy tests because I took, at this point, 17 of them. And I know that some people are like, you're just wasting pregnancy tests. Yes, I wasted so many pregnancy tests because my brain could not compute. My brain was not catching up to the reality of what was going on. And so I definitely wasted a bunch of pregnancy tests, and he is lost in the sauce. He's like, what? Because he didn't think it was even really possible just yet. Like, I had been telling him, I don't think that this is going to happen for a while. I've been on birth control for so long. Takes people a really long time to get pregnant after this. Obviously, that was my assumptions and things I had read online. And so he was just as shocked as I was, very, very excited. And then we basically just laid down for the evening. I told him that I'd been drinking mocktails all night, which is why I was drinking margaritas in a fancy restaurant instead of like red wine. And so we just talked for the rest of the evening, and it was very sweet, honestly. After I was so weird and awkward, it got very sweet, I can assure you. And I mean, that's pretty much the story of finding out that I'm pregnant, telling Henry. I still have to do my eyebrows. We waited until I want to say like 15 to 16 weeks. I think it was almost 16 weeks when we announced it online. I'll insert like a little bump picture here so you can see what I'm rocking with right now. There's definitely days where I have a bump for sure, and then there's days where I'm like, am I just bloated? Like, what is going on? I think I definitely have a bump now, but it still just feels weird. I'm still delulu a little, and I'm like, I think I'm just really bloated. But telling the world was an experience in and of itself, because we really wanted to hold, you know, some of that sacred a little bit. So I didn't want to tell everyone, you know, right at 12 weeks or anything like that. I kind of wanted to hold on a little longer. So at 16 weeks, I felt ready, felt excited. We had our ultrasound maybe a couple weeks before that, I don't know, something. So I felt just prepared, and the baby like really looked like a baby in that ultrasound, not just a little blob, a little dinosaur blob. And so we told the world. A lot of people were like, I knew it, your face was getting so much fuller. And I was like, thank you. Love to hear it. Love to hear that you saw me gaining weight. And so you thought I was pregnant. But everyone's been so supportive. I have now kind of talked about it on each like platform, and this is the longest, definitely, that I have like chatted about it all. But we are so excited. Like I said, everyone has been so supportive. I'm so grateful for all of you. Everyone is like really adjusted to the changes in Henry and I's lives so quickly. Like and I know that we've brought you along the journey for so long that it is adjustment for you as well. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for listening to me for so long, just talk about this experience. I appreciate all of you. Your support means so much to me, and I will sit down next week with Henry to talk more about what it's been like on his end as well, and to hear from him, because he hasn't really shared very much just yet. So I'm excited to hear what he has to say to you guys. And yeah, thank you as always. We love you very much.